What's up, fam? Elijah Shire here. Welcome back to another episode of EXTOL WE. This week, Megan, Andy, Jay, Jesus are my extras, and I am the ordinary. The videos that went live, I don't know how many weeks ago now, are breaking our insufficiency connected to another video 3.5 years ago in the past called Two Made One. And in this season, I am breaking into another season of perseverance where it is becoming a seemingly insurmountable task to move forward. Just everything in life where it is right now is just so overwhelming that it's a day-by-day process of waking up, resting in God's grace, and asking Him for favor to be able to move forward. I was up at a men's camp this year. A friend of mine, Megan, was working in the kitchen, and as I came down from the chapel, far after everyone else, because I was talking from person to person to person to person and just ministering to people on my way down from the chapel to the cafeteria, she had set aside some dessert for me and said, "We didn't see you here, so we set this aside from you." And because we all know that Elijah is the last one down off of the mountain. Now, friends, it was such a prophetic gift to me to help to encourage my heart, because there were two things that Megan had said in one fell swoop: that I am often the last person that is down off of the mountain. I love God's presence. I love to spend time with Him. And so very often tarry a long time with Him, and very often the last one off of the mountain. And with that, though, came then the encouragement to my heart for other people, and that the reason that I knew that I was the last person down off of the mountain is because I was moving from person to person to person to person in a 5 foot at a time pathway forward, from people who wanted to say how much God had touched their hearts, how much He had spoken to them, how much He had revealed to them, how they had encountered Him. And after I would hear that story from one person, and they would say, "Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go now," there'd be another person waiting 5 feet down the path that says, "I want to tell you what God did in my life too." And that it is my heart's joy and desire to listen to those things, to watch for those things in the lives of others, and to help steward those things with them in God, to move them forward into the fullness of every good thing that God has for them. Out of that, then, this last week, as I was running with God, it was off on a run, I was thinking through all of the things that are still yet to come, and He reminded me of a video that I had made at the 1-year anniversary of Extraordinary Life with Elijah. At that time, I was having such a hard time moving forward in perseverance and consistency, and as I went in to record my video, that I walked past a fire pit, and someone had put a little painted rock on the fire pit that said, "You're stronger than you think." And that little rock, that little heart, so encouraged me in my ability to walk forward, that it just came to me and exploded in this spiritual impartation to say, "Elijah, you have what it takes. You're stronger than you think. You can do this." That was at the 1-year mark in my process, that I then popped it into my date calculator, and today, as I'm recording this video for you here on Tuesday, July 28th, 2026, I've been at this now 6 years, 5 months, 14 days, or a total of 77 months, 14 days. God loves refreshing my heart. At the 1-year mark, that I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't know if I can do this for another 2.5 years. And here I am at 6+ years, 77 months, 14 days, and I'm still going by God's grace, that He is faithful to sustain us. Now, as I was thinking of that video, that one of the big questions that I have is like, how am I going to pull all of this off? There's so many things yet to come, and I'm getting closer and closer, and I'm feeling weaker and weaker and having less and less resources and I don't think I'm going to make it. That the prophetic celebration then in that video was from my friend Andy, that he had this picture of me in prayer of conducting this train down out of the mountains. It was full of so much wealth that it was falling on both sides of the tracks, and I wasn't even stopping to pick it up. It was so much wealth. It was like Solomon, who made silver irrelevant in his kingdom, and he's like, he saw this train in a prophetic vision as he was praying, and there at the front of the train, the conductor was me. And at that time, he didn't even know me. And he came and said, "I want to share this picture with you. Does this mean anything to you?" Yes, Andy, that meant a ton to me. That God was saying, Elijah, when you come down, finally, you come down from the mountain, that you're the last one that comes down from the mountain, that when you come, you're going to be coming with a lot of wealth for a lot of people, and it's going to be a lot. It's going to be more than enough. It's not just going to be you filled with the wealth necessary to minister to other people. It's going to be overflowing wealth to the people that you're coming down to from the mountain. That as I was on my run thinking through those things, that God was reminding me of these prophetic words 5+ years ago when I felt like I wasn't going to make it. And here I am, 77 months, 14 days later, I'm still going, still on the mountain. As I was praying through all those things, being built up and encouraged in my heart, that I looked down at the gravel pathway that I was running on. I saw just this little tip of looked like an agate popping up out of the gravel. My son Jamin loves to collect rocks. And there was this flash across the dashboard of like, you should grab that rock for your son. He'd probably like that. I'm like, no, I'm tired. I got to keep going. I was in the middle of a 5-mile plus run in like 100 degrees. I was not feeling too strong. I was like, I'm just going to keep going. I don't have enough strength to carry that little rock. But God said, I want you to pick up that rock. I kept running, and I ran about 50 yards past it, and God's like, I told you to go back and pick up that rock. I stopped. I said, okay. I walked back. I was like, I'm probably not even going to be able to find it. I was just like making up all kinds of excuses. I get back to that portion of the trail, and there's just this little bitty tip of a rock poking up. Oh, focus. There's just this little bitty tip of a rock poking up there. And when I pulled it up out of the gravel, my friends, it was a little bitty agate heart buried in the gravel. And this heart, friends, is so much smaller than the painted rock that I found at my 1-year anniversary. That the Lord spoke to my heart and said that was a large heart, and it had a message on it that it said, you're stronger than you think. That this heart is a lot smaller, that there's less in this heart, and that it's just a white agate. There's nothing written on it, but that it was an expression of Jesus to say, this is a rock that is revealing my heart that is in you, that is unique to your person. There is a name written on this rock that only you and I know. And though it's not painted on by someone else, you can see the name on the rock and you know what it means. And it encourages you. And that, yes, there is less heart here than there was back at the 1-year anniversary, not because you have less heart, but because I'm breaking down your insufficiency, Elijah. That you're giving yourself to me day by day by day, and that I am consuming you as a spiritual act of living worship. It's your spiritual act of worship, of being a living sacrifice to me, to be consumed by my pleasure on the mountain. And as I was speaking with the Lord about that then he began to speak to me about clarity and things that he said to me for years of, you give them something to eat, Elijah. And I'm like, Lord, where would I get enough to feed all of these people? I don't have enough to feed all these people. And he confirmed that in a spiritual dream, that he said, nope, Elijah, you don't have enough grace for the world. You can't do that. I'm like, well, then I'm confused about what you're saying. That this week on my run, as I carried my little heart, he said that them is myself Son, and Spirit, that you're on a mountain with us, and that we're watching you in this mountain place, the mountain of myrrh, the mountain of death, coming to the place where we have called you and not turning away, in the desert, wandering around with dispossessed demons, with your shoes not wearing out, and being in dry, lonely places. We're there. We are your Peter, James, and John, the three that never sleep. And we're watching, and we're picking it all up, son. We're enjoying it. Give us something to eat. Give them something to eat. As I bring the bread of my life to God and say, here I am to be broken, to have my insufficiency broken down more and more, to be consumed, to have less and less heart that I'm holding, that God is consuming the bread of my life for his enjoyment, for his pleasure, not for his strengthening, but just for his joy, his delight, and his pleasure. And when you really enjoy something a lot, you eat it all up down to the crumbs. You pick them up off of your plate. You lick the plate. You lick all the crumbs up off the table. That with the Elijah of old, that when the fire came down from heaven, that it consumed the entire altar and it licked up the dust. You always lick up the very last little bits of the things that you like the most. That I am seeing the bread of my life broken down smaller and smaller and smaller to little parts that are being split apart. But when you split apart atoms, the result is a nuclear explosion. But the process towards the detonation of supernatural power and having your insufficiency broken down is at times a very difficult process. But this last week, as I was considering all of these things, that God encouraged my heart to say that I do know the wealth on the mountain. And as I sit on the mountain, that being the last one off the mountain is a process of me delighting in sitting with the Lord and seeing the other people that he invites, the people of destiny that he invites up the mountain of the Lord to speak with him, take counsel with Moses, Elijah, that I delight to sit in the shadows, in the wings of people's destinies, and to hear of the treasure and the glory and the beauty that God has placed in their lives as he speaks their identity over them. Very often that I hear the gold, I hear of the gems, I hear of the treasure in people's lives past what their ability is to hear it themselves. That as they fall down in either discouragement or depression or anxiety or things that are blocking them from moving forward in their destinies and the things that are difficult for them to walk through in the pathway of their destiny, that I'm very often there looking into the dark things with them saying, wow, I'm very encouraged by that. Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you for entrusting that beauty to me. I see beautiful things. And then I drag the net of my attention through the people's lives, through the world, and then I sort things out, like I said in my video, and I take that and I put that over here, and I take that, say, oh, that's gold, I'll put that over there, and then I record it, and I remember it, and I carry it. That is me. I was very encouraged by that. And that God said, Elijah, you know the resource. Go out into my people, son. Don't tell me that you don't have enough bread to feed the fullness of my appetite, to be consumed in and through you. You're right, Elijah. The bread of your life is not sufficient to feed the massive hunger of my appetite to be pleased. You're absolutely correct, Elijah. The bread of your life is not enough to feed me. You're speaking truth. Now go out into my people, into those who don't count, Elijah, and see what you find in my people. As I walk out into God's people, those who don't count. If you haven't seen that video, that when Jesus told his disciples to feed the 5,000, it was 5,000 men. They didn't count the women, they didn't count the children. But when the disciples went out, they found 2 fish, 5 loaves, and a little boy, someone who didn't count in the number. When they looked in the life of someone who didn't count, they found the resource that they could carry to Jesus to be broken to feed 5,000 people. So he said, Elijah, go out into my people, those who don't count, and find out what you find. When I walk out into then God's people and I look at the treasure, the resource that's carried in their lives, man, it is a whack ton. It's enough to feed the Father's heart, Son's heart, Spirit's heart, and have leftovers to pipe out to the rest of the world too. That he said, well, then carry my people to the place that I've told you to, hand them to me as the gift that you have found, the resource, the overflowing resource of treasure. Place them in my hands and allow it to be broken in my hands in thanksgiving and then handed back to the world through you. That should probably be sufficient, Elijah, but you're right, you don't have it. Friends, that's what my Father has told me all along. That's my word. And as chug into the end of this video, staying on a one-track mind, that my friend Jay came to me and he brought such wonderful treasure to me, just a drop from the Lord to keep me going, that he was in a Sunday service where Michael, our senior leader, released a prophetic word to him. And Jay's hearing is not the best. And there was competing noise. There was piano being played behind the microphone and the declarations from the main stage. And Pastor is incredibly passionate and wild. And he's speaking to people over here and to people over here. And it's quick and it's loud and it's going. And in all of that, that Jay then didn't hear that Pastor had said his name, but that felt that he was delivering a word to the specific blast zone of where he was. But that even though he didn't hear the word clearly, that in his spirit, something spoke in his spirit, past his ability to hear it clearly. And it said, this word is for you. That Jay then said in his heart, Father, I don't know what that word is. I don't know if it's even for me, but I accept whatever Pastor is releasing and I receive it in Jesus' name by the power of the Spirit. That after service, he went home, he woke up the next morning, was praying, and he just couldn't let go of this desire, this longing that whatever Pastor had said, that it be for him. I want that word to be for me. That he woke up, and Jay has some heart issues. He has heart palpitations. His heart isn't working as efficiently as it should. And when he wakes up in the morning, that his heartbeat is really low, static pressure, like 50 beats per minute at rest. And that then it'll ramp up to over 150 beats per minute. And so it's truly dangerous for him. He has to just lay and relax and rest. But he said, no, I have to know, is this word for me? And so he got up in his truck, and he knew that I would be at Mazevo Coffee on Monday morning with the men's group. And he said, I think if I can get to Elijah is going to be able to help me to know whether or not this word was from me. So he drives to Mazevo, comes in, says, Elijah, come here, I need to talk to you. He's like, he tells me what he's experiencing and what he's thinking and what he's longing for. And he said, I heard Pastor was speaking this word, and I said yes to it by the Spirit, but I don't know if it was specifically for me. But Elijah, I want this word to be for me. Let the word be for me. And I was like, well, hallelujah, Jay. Good news. We can go back to the live cast. I was like, I'll listen to it and see if this word is for you. He's like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. I didn't know that was a thing. And so we go to the end of the service, pastors prophesying and shouting intensely to the entire congregation. And he comes over to the side of the stage and he says, Jay, and begins to prophesy over my friend. I said, Jay, not only is this word, does it apply to you? Pastors spoke this word directly to you. My boys are waking up, so it's just about time to end. I said, no, Jay, this isn't a generic word that can apply to you. Pastor, he said directly, Jay, and then prophesied over you. That as I then began to tell him what Pastor had then said, that Jay just began to weep. He said, this word was for me. He's like, now I am a concrete wall. I am a wall of granite in the things of the Lord that he has called me to. My heart has been strengthened to stand in the things that God has called me to stand in. My friends, then later on in the day, as I was contemplating my friend's zeal, his passion, his persistence in pursuing the things of the Lord, that I was like, Jay, my friend, he was willing to literally kill himself, that his heart was palpitating. He had an oximeter on his finger as we were talking, was showing me his heartbeat would go up to 157 and down back to 50, and then up to 135, back down to 60. And then he's like, I get lightheaded when that happens. And he's like, but I was willing to like drive off the road and crash into a tree to get to this coffee shop to find out if that word was for me. Let it be for me. As I prayed through those things and just, exalted the Lord in the faith of my friend to be willing to kill himself to obtain the word of the Lord. I said, Father, I have not pursued anything like that in my life. That is so beautiful. I thank you. I praise you for my friend Jay's faith. What a faithful man. I have never done anything like that the Lord came to me and said, Elijah, have you not? You never have, huh? He said to me, Elijah, you're on a 7-year journey to walk to a place in time to show up with a word of mine to see if that word is for a people. And he's like, Elijah, don't sell yourself short, son, but see the faith of your friend. Receive the grace of his life, using the gifts that Jay has to please my heart, to impart grace to you. Receive his grace, son, and keep walking in your journey. Let him come to you in heart to inspire you on your journey to get you to the end line. Elijah, you're willing to have palpitations of your heart up to 157 and down to 50, and up to 185 and down to 30, and then up to 210 and down to 1, that you are willing to endure the palpitations of your heart, to jump in the truck of your body, the little truck of your flesh, and drive that thing 7 years to the future, to park it with a people, to jump out, and to intercede and say, Father, let it be for them. Let it be for them. That you have sat on the hill of the Lord with me and looked into the destiny of a people's life in the earth, and that you've seen the treasure, you've seen the worth in the people of the earth, and that you're gathering it all up in the one-track mind of heart and mind that I gave you, and that you're coming down from the hill of the Lord to carry the treasure of my people into my presence, to place them in my hands on Sunday, February 14th, 2027 at the Brick Breeden Fieldhouse in Bozeman, Montana, that I could receive them from you with thanksgiving, and to break the insufficiency of them, and the two become one. Friends, my encouragement to you is that whatever God has called you to do, that you would not lose heart, that you would not lose heart and give up. You're stronger than you think, that we undergo trials, that they test our faith to be able to reveal to us that we're stronger than we think. We're stronger than we know, because it's not by might, it's not by power, but by the Spirit, says the Lord. The battle does not belong to the sword, it belongs to the Lord. So do not lose heart, my friends. So whatever it is that the Lord has given you to do, I pray blessing to you. I release grace to you, that you would exercise the gifts that God has given you to please the heart of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit, to feed the hunger of their hearts for their appetite in the bread that they have given to you, that you allow yourself to be broken, allow yourself to be consumed, and that you would see the size of your heart cookie that they're nibbling on reduce in size to a place where they lick up all of the crumbs, that they fully consume the fullness of you for their pleasure, and that in being consumed for their heart's pleasure, that it would release grace to others, that they would bring themselves to the Father to be consumed themselves, that they might know him more. So if you subscribe to what I am doing, then hit the button. Hit it and then get it. Don't just hit the button. I'm not looking for a fan club. I'm looking for a fam club. Hit that button and then get it. Hit the bell as well so you get notified with the new content. I'm a content creator. And if you loved this video, you didn't just like it, then hit that thumbs down button. Pray blessings on all of our lives together. I love you guys lots, and I will see you in the next video.